Indoor cycling, Zwift, racing, parenting. We cover those and all of our hopes and dreams in between. Welcome to the Talk Dirty to Me podcast, an entertaining look into the lives of everyday people trying to achieve virtual cycling glory from our basements and garages from around the world. This podcast is rooted in Zwift and has evolved into found friendships, fitness, health, and a little sprinkle of humor. This may be one of the only podcasts where a little heavy breathing shouldn't scare you away, because we're riding our bikes while we're recording it.
All right, welcome back. We have a return guest today because Chris Schwenker has a big thing coming up, and we wanted to talk about it. So welcome back,
really,
Chris.
Excited to get the call back. I don't know what that says about me or you guys. You know what I mean?
Well, in fairness, it was Miller, I think, was initially thought of for a callback a while ago, but he was vetoed. So yours was not vetoed.
All right. Well, so that makes me feel better. Like I guess I'm going to date myself. Like when a comedian got a callback on the Johnny Carson show, that meant that his career in show business was made.
That's right.
Although I don't know if you remember, after the last podcast, there was a comment on Instagram about how your guest should have a finer grasp of the Queen's English.
I don't remember who said that.
So, yeah, I don't either. I didn't recognize it, but what can I say?
I think it was Neil Woody.
Yeah,
Neil Greenwood. I think it was him because he is English.
He is an Englishman.
All I can say is guilty. Sorry.
Well,
the fine New York accent, Chris. That's,
if the Queen's English is the bar, I barely speak English, so we're doing okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that makes me then, but it is unique, and of course I don't think that I have an accent. I think it's you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably don't think Drew has an accent, but to me, you both do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine is very plain. So Chris is doing a ride across the United States starting next week, right?
Yeah, actually I'm flying out to San Francisco on Tuesday, and we're going to pick up an RV that we rented, and we're going to take a day to stock it up, and then I'm going to roll out on Thursday. So it's less than a week now, on the 9th.
I'm sure the reality of it is starting to weigh in, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to know about
it's getting real.
So what was the impetus for this decision that you wanted to do this?
That's interesting, because I think that as you evolve as a cyclist, I think it's like one of these things that's always like a really it's always like something that's in the back of your mind. It's like always like a fantasy for the cyclist to ride their bike across the country. And I always thought, when I first started cycling, 25, 30 years ago, and I was getting into it and like covering a lot of ground, and then you're just like, experiencing the independence of cycling and everything. Yeah. Like, it would really be great if I could, ride my bike across the country. And I always thought that I'd be doing it like packing and, sleeping under underpasses and stuff like that. Yeah. And of course, it was always in the back of my mind that, this is really a great dream, but it's probably never going to come true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The stars have aligned over the last 20 years or so, and they've, have a lot of support. So I'm going to do it.
That's awesome.
When did you make the decision when you said, you know what, now's the time?
I think that it, and I've documented this. I think I even spoke about it with you guys, it was mainly around the time that I decided that I was going to retire from my practice. I've been really fortunate to have a great staff and made some decent decisions, and not only business decisions, but just life decisions, and realizing that there are, experiences are a lot more important than, possessions and status, So my plan was always to retire at 50. And I think that the further away I get from 50, the harder it's going to be to ride my bike across the country. So I should probably do it as soon as possible.
That age just keeps creeping, huh?
Yeah. Besides the fact that, it's like, when you do retire and then you get put on like a fixed income, you rely on the fact that you plan correctly and that you're your financial advisors did the right thing, but every year there's less in that pot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. You see it dwindle with nothing going in.
Yeah, it's a much different mindset.
So you're starting in San Francisco, correct?
Yeah, so I wanted to give myself every advantage. So if the prevailing winds are blowing in my way, it should they should go from west to east. So that's the reason why I decided to fly out and then ride back. Which really isn't the easiest thing, because renting an RV is not really the easiest thing, and then renting it one way is very difficult.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I was able to. It took me a long time. Like, the whole concept probably 20 years ago, but when I made the decision, I said the only way that we're going to be able to pull this off is if we start planning, like real planning, like concrete stuff, like making decisions that matter, and and putting our money where our mouth is. We got to start it a year ahead of time. So I had my first strategy meeting a year ago. That's when we started making real plans. So I'm sure I'm going to probably answer a couple of your questions, but so my wife is coming with me.
Awesome.
We're lucky to be in the same position where we retired together. She was my office manager, so she's not going to work without me. But and my uncle is coming with us also, and my uncle is a big fan of my cycling, but he kind of was like, my dad died when he was 53 years old, so my son is 22 now, and he never met my dad. So I was a young man, and he was a young man. And my uncle kind of like stepped in there as like a surrogate grandfather to my son, and he's always been a confidant for me. So spending time with him is really great. But the main reason why I needed him there is because my uncle is like very, very adventurous. He's been to 87 countries, 7 continents. He sailed a yacht across the Atlantic and then toured Europe and Asia with my aunt for 6 years. He toured the country in an RV for 2 years. He's done Alaska to Mexico on a motorcycle. But that's the least of his adventure. He was one of the first hot air balloon pilots in the United States.
Wow.
In 1974 he got his hot air balloon license, and he flew a balloon that he sewed himself, because you couldn't just go out and buy it. He wanted to be a hot air balloon pilot, so he sewed his own balloon. And was like, all right, let's see how this works out.
Man.
So he
awesome.
flew a balloon at the opening ceremonies of the Lake Placid Olympics in 1980. So he's a really adventurous guy, and a good guy to have around. My sense of direction is horrible, so I'm fairly confident that he'll be able to find me no matter where I am.
The true
That's
Renaissance
awesome.
man. Sews, flies, rides motorcycles.
Oh yeah, he's pretty special.
Sounds like it.
He and my wife get along really well. I think we're going to have to stock the RV with ice cream and wine, and then both of them are going to be very happy.
Which one's for which? Are they both sharing?
No, they share equitably.
That's good.
That's awesome.
So, San Francisco, of all the cities in California, why San Francisco?
Because I actually have a family that live just a bit south of there, I think, in Half Moon Bay.
Okay.
So that's actually part of the legit. So it's my uncle's daughter, my cousin.
Okay.
She and her husband both got PhDs from Princeton, and then they moved out there. He's a scientist in he does cancer drug research and stuff, and she's out there, but she's a bit of a different breed. She's like a yoga instructor and stuff, but really great people. And so I've been shipping stuff out there. They have their garage must be packed with boxes of my crap that I just because I can't carry it on the plane with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I sent 2 bikes out there also. So. Yeah, so that was the main reason, to have a centralized hub for being able to take care of all the logistics.
Yep.
So they live in Half Moon Bay, which I hear is really nice. I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
But I do know that it's extremely hilly on the way out. And the first day of the ride, and my cousin, her husband is a cyclist. He's actually a dirt. I got him to join dirt.
Yep.
he's going to do the
That's
first
awesome.
4 days with me.
Who's your cousin's husband? So if I see him out riding.
Realizes it, but it's 92 miles with 12,000 feet of climbing.
Holy
Roped him into that one, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want to
it's
share
kinda
his
funny.
name?
His name is Jason Long. And
Jason Long.
Yeah, he's not so.
In case we see
he's
him
not-
out there.
Yeah, he's not extremely active, racing and stuff like that. He's mainly a mountain biker, but he gets on and trains, and he's very much aligned with the dirt culture and the dirt philosophy and things. And he's also a huge supporter of my cycling also, and he reads all my articles. At least he says that.
Really cool.
So you did answer one of my questions. Was what bike are you bringing? But you said you're bringing two. A spare.
Yeah, I'm bringing two. Yeah, just in case. Actually, one is like a really light climbing rig, and none of my bikes are really that comfortable. When I bought them, I was like doing a lot of really long hilly races in New England. Like I bought them all for the Green Mountain Stage Race and the Killington Stage Race and stuff. So they're not exactly built for comfort. So one of my bikes, it weighs like less than 11 pounds or something like that. So I'll have that mainly for the climbing days if I think it's necessary. And then I have so that's an AX Lightness, which is a handmade frame from Germany. The frame, fork, and seat post weighs less than a kilo. Yeah, so that bike, it's a really nice bike, and it's kind of like that's like one of the downfalls of like doing all your riding and training indoors is that you never get to ride your really good stuff anymore. But so I hope to get on that a little bit, and then I have a Ridley Helium. That's also a really nice bike that I'll probably be riding on most of the days, and that's actually what I put on the trainer. Both of them are electronic, which is I think is like a must these days.
Are they SRAM or are they Di2?
Both ETAP.
ETAP. So
Yeah.
you got to pack a bunch of those little batteries, huh?
Not really. You just gotta
Remember to charge them.
them up.
Gotta keep them charged up.
That's actually funny because I'm like, the one thing that could go wrong is if I can't charge up my stuff.
Yeah.
Right, so I bought one of those super heavy duty like battery pack things.
Yep.
That charges with a lighter. So like when my wife and uncle are driving to meet me, they can charge up my battery pack so that then I can charge up all my million computers and my I got cameras I got those cyclic cameras for the front and back of the bike so that like my wife knows who to blame.
Yeah.
and
That's awesome.
yeah, and our community is so great. Like somebody like gave me a Garmin 1030. Just said, listen, I know that you asked for one of these. I have one, just take it. I'm like, well, I don't know, I'll need it for 2 months and I'll give it back. He's like, no, just donate it,
That's awesome.
do whatever you want to do.
That's so cool.
And I'd love to tell you who it is because you would like, you would be really surprised, but he told me not to say, and I have to respect.
We'll wait till we're not recording. You can let us know then.
or you can try to guess.
Well, there's so many to guess from, though.
Yeah, he'd be on the short list probably.
And there's so many generous people. It's hard to make a short list, though.
Yeah.
All right, so make a short list of people that you don't think are that generous.
But not that generous.
This seems like a trap. I'm just saying.
Yes. No, it's just it's funny. Like some people are different than they seem.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's funny.
So
now, the generosity is a big part of making something like this happen, though.
Yeah,
Takes a
I could
community.
have. Yeah, it's like when you do something like this, like I'm not going to lie. The main reason why I'm doing it is because it's going to be epic, and it's it's just like as a cyclist, there are too many people that can say they rode their bike across the country, and I'm going to be one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of cycling, I've said this to my family a million times. It's very selfish. You know what I mean? Like when my family used to follow me to bike races, I'm like, I'm pulling them, 8 hours so they can watch me for 8 minutes. And when I'm not racing, I'm like the most miserable guy. Everything hurts. I can't eat enough. It's like it's just And like, this is really hard on the family, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with this ride, you know, because basically my only job is to ride my bike. Everybody else has to take care of everything else for me, you know? So it's kind of it's one of these things, but you know, I just thought that it was really a natural way to raise awareness of the Dirt Dad Fund. And if I could have a little bit of a sense of purpose while I do it, then it'll motivate me a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like if you're a cyclist and you've done it with any seriousness, you know, and I've Everested twice, I've done double centuries, you know, I've ridden my bike, I've been down Mount Washington and everything. Like I know, and I've been in, you know, deep, dark places during races and things like that, you know, and come out of it and whatever. So like if you're a cyclist and you do it with any sort of seriousness, you know you're going to get it done, right? It's going to be dark, and you're going to go through waves of emotion, and you're going to feel like you can't pedal again, and then you're going to rally, and like, so I know I can do it. It's not going to be easy, and it probably would be, you know, less rewarding if I didn't have a couple of those days, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But having a little bit of motivation and doing it for a cause, you know, it isn't going to hurt it either. Really.
Absolutely.
Now,
what have
been?
I
was say, what have you been doing to prepare? Have you been doing long rides? Have you been off the bike?
You know, we like I just like you guys, you know, we train to race, right? So I was doing a lot of racing, and then once this, you know, the ZRL finished up, and my team, the OGs, we've had a couple of really great seasons, and we ended up coming in second in the last season. So I was racing right up until then. But right after that, then I started just packing on the volume. So I think I did and this is all, you know, a combination of indoors and outdoors. I think I did like a little bit over 400 miles last week, and that's when I shut it down. Because I really need to kind of taper back, because I've been going like, you know, pretty steady, pretty hard for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to take the next couple of days and just, you know, not do so much, you know, like only an hour or so on the bike. Yeah.
So then, when you're out there on the bike, because I mean, we know how it feels to be off the bike after you've been on for 60 miles, 100 miles. You know, are you planning on doing anything before you get on the bike, like stretching, yoga, that sort of stuff, to keep yourself in shape?
Know, that's interesting, because, you know, that's one of the things that like you have in the back of your mind. Like when you do something like this, you know, when I'm done, yeah, my base is going to be, you know, crazy, but my top end is going to be, you know, in the dumps, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, do you like, you know, work in like, you know, like, you know, training days and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Some form
Which
sprints
I'm
out
not
in
going
Iowa.
to do. Yeah, like you're doing like hill sprints. I just think that would be a recipe for disaster, you know.
Yeah,
I did bring like a TRX, you know, so I'm gonna try to do some core stuff and a little bit upper body when I can. But I have a feeling that my time is going to be spent doing other stuff, and I probably shouldn't be expending energy if I don't have to.
Yeah. So you're going to be like sleeping in the camper, in the RV? Is that the plan?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing that my uncle was really instrumental in doing. He, because he's had all these adventures and been all over, he's really good at planning stuff. So he planned a place for us to stay all 60 nights. So
that's awesome.
We're staying in campgrounds. I've gotten an education in RVing because we're really not into this. My wife is not really the roughing it type, which is hilarious, because when we first started the whole, you know, conception process of this, the conceptualization process, I should say, you know, we started out like a Johnny Cash's tour bus that we were going to be taking across the country, and then I'm like, that's probably not going to work out because you would die if you heard what I'm paying for this RV to get us across the country. It's like criminal. It really is.
Yeah.
So Johnny Cash's tour bus wouldn't work out. So we went from like a 60-foot RV down to a 30-foot RV, and that took the better part of like 6 months. Yeah, so we're staying at campsites, and there's also a term called boondocking, which was new to me, but that's when you go to a place where you're like self-contained,
dry camping.
So we're staying at like an alpaca farm one night. We're staying at a bison
so I have a
ranch
camper, so I'm a little bit versed in it, but
Yeah, so there's an app called Harvest Host, which is like a network of places. We're staying at some wineries and breweries and stuff like that, that should be fun.
That Harvest Host is really cool because, like you said, there are a lot of wineries that do it, and you can they let you park your RV there for the day, and like sometimes they'll have you help with mashing grapes or whatever. But
is that right?
They just ask that you buy something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think buying something is going to be a problem at those places.
Yeah. You'll have to restock on your wine.
Yeah, my
oh no,
yeah, my crew is going to be taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I bet.
Actually, it's one of the things that I want to do is that I want to try to sample a local IPA at every place that I stop. So that's like another part of the challenge to drink beer 60 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Well, boy, do we have a dirt member for you.
His name's Pete. He runs on ethanol. He's a race car.
He did a beer, what was it, like a brewery / pub tour one day. I think he had 7 beers and span of an afternoon, one at each stop, and
nice
in between riding his bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a good time to follow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I plan on doing the beer drinking after I'm done riding.
Yeah.
Just
probably
for
probably
the
a good
calories
goal.
alone, I think it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, you know how it is. The
electrolytes.
first beer that you have after a century ride is always the best one.
That's it.
I think mine, the last time we did it, was a non-alcoholic beer.
That was during the ride.
Technically, you're right. It was during the ride. It's okay. Don't hold it against me.
It didn't taste that good.
In preparation, we actually, did anybody check the leaderboard of the Dirty Pretzel personal best challenge?
I saw
Jose put on.
I haven't looked at it in a while, actually.
I stopped
Discord has
looking
here
because
for
it just made me feel bad about myself. Some of those guys are out of their minds. Like
Just remember,
Mostly Yankow.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Yankow.
Yankow's in second
first.
place. No, I think he's in second.
Is
Yeah,
he
but
really?
he's done it. But he's done it twice.
He might have
he
done
did
it 3
twice.
times now because there was a,
really?
a guy called Ben Meir that's beat him.
Ben,
That's
Yeah.
our guy. Yep.
Yeah,
So
so
I don't know when this was updated.
Ben
The
is a
spreadsheet
machine.
has Yankow in first, Raul
does it? Or
Christian
maybe he
in
is.
second, Ben Meir third, Craig Pike. Yeah, Craig Pike fourth, Bonica in fifth.
Wow. Bonica.
Yeah, that's
good job, buddy.
yeah, it's I don't know. I did it. Like I just
And
woke
all
up
the way
one
down
morning.
in- Actually, Chris, you're 17th. I'm 18th. All right. Look at us.
Nice. Yeah, I woke up
Not-
one
not
morning.
too
I'm like,
bad.
this is really kind of it's kind of like, if I don't do this, it doesn't really look that great. So I'm like, all right, I better just do it. And I didn't. I was giving it a pretty good go on the KOM segments, but I just rolled through the sprints. So I probably should have sprinted.
So I tried it, and I did a full-out KOM to start and hit like a new power PB for 20 minutes, and then was coming up on the sprint. There was a giant group, Greg was in it, of like the endurance ride people. And I was going to draft them and hit that sprint. And I was like, yes. I had an arrow and everything. I went to hit my arrow, and I hit the U-turn button. Completely killed my route. Lost all speed on the sprint. And that whole 20-minute effort was for nothing. I'm like, oh, gosh.
Well,
Brutal.
it's not for nothing.
Yeah, it was a personal best, so there is that, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it
Still
didn't even
improving.
count, though, because it wasn't during an event, so.
Well, it does count. It'll show up in your training peaks.
Yeah.
And if it's in your memory. You told us about it.
Well, fortunately for me, 3 days later, I hit another one. So, humble brag.
Yeah.
And it was
That's good,
during an
man.
event,
Yeah.
so it worked.
Yeah, when you're like me, the PBs don't come fast and furious like that.
Yeah.
So is there a particular city along the way that you're most looking forward to? Do you have one picked out? Let's go top
that's
three.
interesting.
Top three.
Well, I probably can fill up a top 10. When I finally started taking vacations from my practice, which I was really like driving when I first started to practice. I barely would ever close. So as the kids were getting older and older, we're like, we need to close the office and take vacation. So we decided that we would go to national parks. So we would go to a different national park every year. We saw a lot of them. So, and we loved it. It's like our favorite places to be. So we wanted to work that into the ride. So from San Francisco, we're basically taking a straight line to Yosemite. And then from there, we're going to ride through the valley and then climb out. That's like one of the big climbing days, is climbing out of the valley. And then we're going from there basically to the Grand Canyon and then up through Utah. So we're going to go see Zion, the Canyonlands Arches, Bryce, all of those.
Yeah.
So I've already filled up half of my top 10. Yeah, like the parks are awesome. And then I planned it so that we have a campsite at the base of Mount Rushmore for the 4th of July.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so then that's when I'm going to take a sharp right and start heading home from there. Yeah, so I wanted to be at Niagara Falls, which my wife has never been to, and she's always wanted to. So we want to be to Niagara Falls by day 50. So it's going to be like 30 days of cornfields and trying not to get run over by combines.
That's fairly accurate.
Then, like when you pick up the trail in Niagara, there's basically a bike path that I can take all the way home.
Yeah, the Empire State Trail.
The Empire
right?
Trail. The Empire State Trail. Yeah,
so,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I think by then I'm probably going to be had enough of cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that you could plan for? As far as like finding those little bike trails or service trails or whatever?
Yeah, I don't ride outside, so creating routes is something that's really new to me. But Strava has this great feature. You can find routes right on Strava, and it's all crowdsourced. So you can put in what the popular route is, and you can follow their heat maps, and you can see where all the great places are to go. The majority of the routes that I created, I put in the most direct route, but I anticipate that when I get to the destination, I'm going to be like going through the routes the night before to, I'll have a little bit more local knowledge and I'll kind of have like a better sense of the roads and things. But yes, the Strava route creation feature is really great. And it downloads directly to the Garmin 1030 that I now have in my hand. So and this Garmin 1030, which is the reason why I wanted it, like when you go off the route, it recalculates for you like Waze does.
It'll make an obnoxious beeping sound at first, and then it'll reroute
constantly. Like I was the few outdoor rides that I've done to prepare. I was riding with a buddy of mine. He's like, Chris, what is that beeping all the time? He's like, I created a route that I knew that we weren't gonna be on, so that it would tell me to get back to where we were supposed to be, and it was just like beeping incessantly. But that that might be the only company I have for a while, so I think I'm okay with that.
If the beep starts sounding like words, maybe take a break for a minute or two, like pull over. What's that computer?
It's funny that you say that
when
because
the Garmin actually talks.
One of the biggest challenges I think for me is going to be, my cycling mindset is always to try to get from point A to point B as fast as you possibly can, and the whole reason for this is for it to be an experience, and like I need to get through my thick head that I can stop and take a picture if I want, or like I don't need to ride an extra hour if I have to take a piss just because I need to ride an extra hour because I could hold it that long. You know what I mean? That's going to be one of the biggest challenges is actually like slowing down to smell the flowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's your plan as far as what you're bringing on you day to day? So like, what are you carrying on your person?
All right. So the way that I anticipate it going is like, I'm on an early schedule, just like you guys. So I'm going to be up in this 30 by 8 box, pacing around, trying not to wake everybody up, at like 4 a.m, like I normally am. You know what I mean? So I think hopefully I'm going to take a little time to do a little bit of writing and, kind of put my thoughts into words and get that out so people can see it. But then I want to roll out at 6 or 7 or whatever. And I'm thinking that, the crew is still going to be sleeping, and then it'll be kind of like a mini race to see how far I can get before they roll up on me.
Yeah.
and then jump into the RV, have something to eat, maybe change my clothes, and then as they go ahead to the next destination and find a golf course, I'll just be rolling up after them.
Like your own day-to-day chase every day.
Yeah, basically. It's like there's really like no pressure, you know what I mean? Because I have all day to do what I need to do. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some of the days are short, some of the days are longer. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of the course was dictated by, trying to find the next area of civilization.
Right.
Yeah.
As we go through the desert, we booked a place in Area 51 because it was the only place around. It's called the Alien.
Clever.
That's awesome.
So my wife is like, Chrissy, you really think this is a good idea? I'm like, it's the only idea.
Well, I mean,
like I'm riding down the road and like.
Can you rent a Ford Probe when you go in there? Is that possible?
Very good.
I think there's one around.
I don't think there's too much around, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I went on Google Maps to do like it looks like I'm like riding like by a ICBM silo and stuff like that.
If you start seeing a green person riding next to you, also take a break. Maybe hydrate a little.
Well, I will certainly take a picture of that.
Please do.
Yeah,
We'd like to see
Yeah,
that.
this place is cool. They have like their own like alien branded beer and stuff like that. It's like
awesome.
all alien stuff.
Ale.
Ian.
And they have the alien, yeah. So they have like rooms. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll just get a room. It'll be nice. Turns out that the rooms are just double wide trailers that you share with somebody. Like, we'll just stay in the RV. It'll be fine.
We just need somewhere to park.
They're making an authentic experience there,
That's true.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. That's what I wanted to do is go to unique places and see unique things and meet people. I made up a couple of those yard signs, like kind of like explaining the whole Dirt Dad Fundo across America, and to try to drum up some conversation with people, and so I'll have the opportunity to let people know what I'm doing and kind of direct them to dirt and stuff like that. So kind of cool.
That keys into my question, or the thought that I had, which is, have you reached out, like some of the small towns, especially when you're going through America's breadbasket, the so-called flyover states? Man, that would be a great local news piece for Boringsville, Kansas.
Yeah.
Has anyone reached out to say, hey, I'm going to be doing this on about this day. I'll give a media junket if you're interested.
Yeah, I didn't even that possibility hadn't even crossed my mind, but it is interesting. Like I have had a lot of people reach out to me saying that they're going to meet me and ride,
right?
Which is really super cool. But that part I didn't. That's an interesting thing. I guess maybe as
Between
I get
the
closer to
Rockies
certain
and
places, I
Mississippi.
can look into it.
So maybe since this is going to be up after you leave, but it will be up in the midst of your trip. For anybody who's planning on joining Chris, maybe let your local news know. See if they want to meet up and follow you guys for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll put Chris
like
on
the scene of
promotional tour.
That scene in Forrest Gump where like people are following him across the country.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
You have to
awesome.
grow your beard
like
out.
running.
I also I had stickers made of the logo, the United States logo with the Dirt Dad Fund,
Which is an awesome logo, by the way.
Yes.
When I first
Yeah,
saw
you know
that on
who- you know,
Amazon, I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah, Brock Toomey, who's like, he's like my right hand man with the Dirt Dad Fund. He's like really great with the designs and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Which I need to make sure that you ask me a question about that before we're done. His brother created that logo. He's like super talented artist, and he did that for us.
So cool.
But I have stickers made up, and my plan is to stick one in a unique, cool place every day. So I have like a trail of breadcrumbs across the country.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Stickers. I guess was it the Tour de France one year? The top of one of the climbs, there was a dirt sticker on one of the street signs.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
At the top of one of the epic climbs in France.
Now,
cool.
I
Yeah,
have
I
to
think-
clarify. Brock, am I mistaken? Is he Canadian?
No, Brock is actually from Knoxville.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. For some
Yeah,
reason,
but
I thought he was
but
Canadian.
you might be. Well, he's worse than that. He's a triathlete.
I was going to say. Nope.
It's okay. Some of our best friends are triathletes and aspiring triathletes, apparently.
And you admit it.
It's true.
Only kidding. Only kidding. I love triathlon. It's the socks I can do without.
So can they, right?
Yeah. But you were saying Brock has been helping you with the Dirt Dad Fund, though?
Yeah, Brock is like really passionate about it. And his thing is that he's really into designing stuff. So the Dirt Dad Fund store is closed now just because there's going to be no one around to man the shop. You know what I mean? And that's like one of the the core values that I have, that I wanted to base the Dirt Dad Fund store on, is that the customer service would be excellent. So I don't, that's why my wife is so intent on getting stuff out right away. So we didn't want to take any orders and have them sitting here. You know what I mean? So I closed the store, but so Brock has been really, like, he did all the sock designs. That's all his stuff. Like he just takes it and does it, and then he sends me the mock-ups, and I I make suggestions, and once I sign off, he does all the rest for me. Like all this stuff doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? It takes like a decent amount of work, and and that's like one of the the greatest things about doing something like this, is that people step up to help you. And he's gone over and above. But we're in the process of this really exciting like evolution of the Dirt Dad Fund, where I finally found a company that will do the actual Dirt Dad Fund store for me.
Oh wow!
And this particular company is incredible. It's all made in the U.S. They have no minimums. You can do one-off stuff with them. Their turnaround time is 3 weeks. The store is never closed. And basically, the way that it works is, if I can dream up a design, I sit with their designer, and he creates it, and then it goes onto the store. So when I'm riding, you're going to see our first Dirt Dad Fund stuff. I'm going to be testing some of the products, and if it's up to par, then I'm going to open up the store when I get back. But it's
awesome.
It's really super exciting, because not only does it take some of the pressure away from us as far as the logistics and the day-to-day stuff, but it just opens up so many more options. And I've been trying to find a store, but the majority of them are, the quality of the merchandise is horrible. You basically just, they're slapping like a silk screen logo onto a crappy T-shirt, and then selling that to people.
Yep.
So I've been vetting a million different companies, and I finally found one with the help of one of our community members, actually, who came to me, and these guys they're just really great. So it's going to be really exciting. But Brock has been basically on the front lines with all the designs and everything. He came up with a really cool design for the first jersey. And so we're gonna have jerseys. We're gonna have all kinds of really great stuff: tech tees, hoodies, everything.
That's great.
That's awesome, man.
I always need another jersey.
Just
like virtual caps and Greg, I always go for another jersey.
Yeah, it's funny because we don't wear jerseys indoors, So I'm been hounding them to come up with a proprietary base layer for indoor guys.
Yes, I was just gonna say base layer.
Yeah,
will you have base layers?
Yep.
I'm kind of thinking because that's all I wear indoors now is base layers, right? And I like the cool designs, and I have a couple of them from the store. But it would be cool if we could create one that's actually designed for indoor guys, and maybe didn't have as much coverage, because a lot of the guys don't wear anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe just
some even pants. They don't even wear those. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, bad
Is
joke.
that the reason why Keith Miller wasn't asked back?
Well, he started putting his camera angle too low, so then we had to say, "Hey, you can't just show everything. You gotta at least lead up to
I
it."
think that's why he got written up at work too. I think.
Well, in his defense, he didn't see it, so you've seen his glasses.
Oh, I haven't. Oh, yeah.
They're quite thick.
No, Keith is.
Yeah, I can't really say too much about that either.
Well,
That's
you were
awesome,
talking
though.
about people stepping up, and I think to that point, like when you're passionate about something, it's not work to you. It's something you want to do. So I think everybody expects that it's going to be hard work, but when you're in it, I don't think you feel that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I know for me, I'm looking forward to reading your write-ups about
Yeah.
the
cool.
ride. I
Yeah,
enjoy
cool.
the Zom. I enjoy reading all the
Yeah.
posts, and the ride reports are going to be fun.
Yeah, I think they are. I'm hoping to take 1 million pictures and stuff and post them there and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that very, very much. I know that I've told you guys it's humbling when someone says that they read anything that I write, because I'm not a writer. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like hacking through it. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Fake it till you make it,
That's all
right?
it takes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
I guess so. Like a couple of cycling websites have bought a few of my things, so I guess it can't be that bad.
There you go.
That's awesome. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, the picture taking thing is something I've been trying to get better at while riding outside. And I take that cue from Brosterman. Mike Brosterman takes 100 pictures every
Does
ride,
he?
and just selfies of anything going around, the road that he's on, whatever. And I've ridden with him twice now in real life. He's so fluid with it. He just kind of sticks it in his back pocket, takes it out, takes some pictures, puts it right back, boom, all while riding. I was like, see?
Yeah, my bike handling skills have never been that great. And now the fact that I don't even even have to balance my bike most of the time, I think that juggling like a phone and then like trying to like eat something while I'm riding, I'm not really sure how that's going to work out.
Yep. No,
We'll see.
always been my concern. I'd sit there and say, still can't really ride without my hands on the handlebar. Like,
Yeah, it's a touchy proposition.
Yeah.
That's
Safety
awesome,
first. Picture second.
hands on the handlebars.
It's just like
Like,
driving.
I only won one big race in my life, and you see me as I'm going across the line, I'm screaming, but I'm gripping the handlebars as tight as you possibly can. No posting up here.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's awesome, man. So what do you, like, in terms of, only because I asked this about most rides, nutrition on the bike, off the bike, is it kind of just eat whatever's not tied down, or do you have a plan? Or
That's also one of the biggest challenges for me, because I'm not ashamed to say it. I've struggled with food, and I've been trying to get better with it. And being, racing indoors and stuff has really kind of made it easier. But I'm trying to be as liberal as I possibly can, and just not think about it too much. So I think one of the fears is staying ahead of the nutrition, because if I get into a hole and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, 70 miles into a ride, and I bonk, it's like, I know I'll get home, but it'll be 30 miles of misery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and chances are I will have already received the courtesy call from the sag wagon. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
So I'm going to have to really be diligent about trying to stay ahead of that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is one of the apprehensions that I have, is trying to deal with the nutrition. So mainly the on the bike stuff. And then, it's kind of like, I know that I'm going to come along like convenience stores and stuff where I can grab stuff, but I need to be smart enough to actually get it when I'm at the place, and not like, wait until the next place that may never come,
Sure.
Are you bringing a bike lock? I know it's a dumb question, but so you can lock your bike up when you go inside?
Yeah, it's not a dumb question. And just like I'm like reluctant to even put a saddlebag on my bike because it's not cool. I probably won't have a bike lock either.
Just gonna bring your bike to the bathroom with you?
Yeah, it's fun. Both the cyclic cameras and the 1030 have an alarm on them. So if you put the alarm on when you walk away and your bike moves, then it goes crazy. So I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah, there are a lot of things I need to work out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've always seen the bike alarm setting on because I have a 1030 myself, and I've never set it, only because I'm kind of afraid of tripping it. And all those features, I've never really understood how it works.
Yeah,
I know it's there.
Yeah, so
loud.
I'm not opposed to taking the bike into the bathroom with me. I've done it before, so if I have to do that, I will.
Yeah. That's it. That's
As long as you're not going to the bathroom on the bike. That's the difficult part, right?
That's a surefire way to end up in a ditch in a very compromised position.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, is there anybody you'd like to thank specifically for maybe helping you out with this? Or I know I'm sure your wife's probably going to be number one, but I'll save you that.
She's always really supportive, and it's going to be a cool thing for her. But it's obviously not on the top of her list of things to do. So, and my uncle's been really instrumental, but. Just the support that guys have been offering me well wishes and things like that. So I don't. It's certainly a collaborative effort as far as getting everything squared away and the logistics of it and all. But I think I'm basically going to give a collective thank you to everybody who even cares about and you guys too. People should know that how supportive you are of the Dirt Dad Fund and that you have. Merchandise with your cool logo on it, which I think is awesome. And I would be wearing the shirt right now, except I packed it and sent it to San Francisco already. And you donated.
You be sure and send us a picture the day you do wear it.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm going to do that on the day that I actually tell people about the fact that you donated a significant sum of money from the proceeds to support the Dirt Dad Fund. So, it's things like that where, you guys don't have to do that. You could take it and, put it towards your pub days if you really wanted to, but you don't. You made a commitment to the Dirt Dad Fund, and it's really overwhelming. It really is.
Well, I'll speak for everyone in the room and say we're happy to do it. I think giving back to what's given us so much is important. So,
yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, and I know very well that it takes work. You got to get all that stuff out and everything. So it's not something that's not overlooked, and I appreciate it very much. And
you're more than welcome.
To that effect,
Yeah,
the Dirt Dad Fund has allocated $4,000 in the last month to members of our community that need assistance.
Nice.
And so it's like. Things are tough for people, you know what I mean? So the ability to, through the generosity of our community, we're able to help people. I'll tell you just like a little story. Some of the things that we do, you don't really, the impact may not be as apparent as it is for other things, but one of our members, and I actually posted this, and it's on the site, but he chopped off, this is not 100% accurate, but he chopped off one of his fingers with a chainsaw. I had to get it surgically repaired, but he didn't have the cash to do it. And he had to, he lives in the sticks somewhere. So he worked out a deal with the surgeon where he would, he had to put a down payment and then he'd be able to pay it off. But he couldn't do it. He didn't have the money. So because of our donation, he was able to get the surgery to repair his hand so he could go back to work. That's pretty powerful stuff. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great that those things can happen. Yep. And then I think that the weird thing is I know, you post it, but a lot of us don't think about it. It's like those stories that for us are anecdotal, but for that person, that's life-changing, It's your hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the rewarding thing from my end, and the reason why I'll do it until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
because we're able to, you're able to make those connections, and you're able to do things that are profound, and they may not be a big deal to us, but with other people they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Well, I guess we're gonna segue into Greg's segment. It's very difficult to say today. I already know. So I just wanted to make sure we had all the thank yous covered because I know it's important. So
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, and I thank you guys for having me. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ah,
We didn't. I don't want to like transition to our silliness without first making sure we were in a serious position. So here comes the silliness, as to be expected.
yeah. Yeah. Nothing.
All right.
Nothing silly. Nothing silly about this week. God. We're gonna slide right back into the ongoing saga of mass nouns, adjectives, and standard plural nouns with Lego Gate. It came to light that I think everyone across the world that is not in the United States refers to
Plural of Lego.
the small interconnected bricks in the plural as Lego.
Yeah.
No S.
No S.
Were you aware of
And-
this, Chris? This is enlightening stuff. We found this out last week.
So
I'm fascinated.
I'm riveted.
He says with a cold face.
So, right. In England, you say, oh, I'm playing with Lego, or I'm building these Lego together. And then, who was it? Hannah broke the news
Yeah.
and accused us of taking the S that belongs on maths and putting it at the end of Legos. But then, and this is where things get interesting. So, a mass noun is anything that doesn't take an S when you refer to it in large quantity. And usually this is given to non-countable or difficult to count things like milk, right? Like drink milk, have a glass of milk.
Not
Or
milks.
say milks.
Yeah.
Yeah, milks means you're performing the verb of milk. Milking, he milks.
What about alternative milks?
Sure. Oh, shoot.
Ah.
It's getting the hole goes deeper and deeper. Okay, so, and this is the point that I thought was interesting. Hannah didn't really dive into this or defend it much. So, Hannah, when next you're on, we can grill you. Lego Group official position is that Lego, when it is not the proper noun of Lego Group, the company that makes the little bricks that hurt your feet on a kid's floor. For them, Lego is always an adjective. So you play with Lego sets, you play with Lego bricks. So they wouldn't approve, I don't think, of saying, I'm going to play with these Lego, or I'm going to play Lego. Because in that case, mass noun or not, it's not an adjective. Anyway.
But if we suppose for a moment, if we will, that
Go on.
bricks and or sets is implied in the English language, then it would make sense.
Should
Sure.
just be Lego.
Just
My
say,
other
like, we're going
comment
to play
on
Lego.
this, and I thought this one through, so I'll go ahead and say you're welcome for putting the effort in.
Please.
We're also taking this from the same country that gave us the Fjerndig, the lamp with the pull string, and the
Yeah.
Perfenfarg, which is the shelf that goes next to your bed, right?
Sure.
So
You've
take it
obviously
with a grain
thought
of
this
salt.
through.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said,
So if
you're welcome.
If you're a baseball fan, then do you say RBI or RBIs?
I've
Well-
argued that for a while, actually.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
if we really want to get into it, we can talk
Ours
about
be
how. Ooh, exactly. We could talk about how. I mean, there's almost a disconnect in pluralizing and how we pluralize and how we conjugate after plurals. So, like England, a soccer team is a collection of people, so that is a plural group, right? Like you would say, Arsenal have done it,
Yep.
not Arsenal has done it. Whereas in America, we treat the team as a single unit and we conjugate to the singular. We say the Yankees have done it. Fine.
Right.
That's because it's a plural team name.
That's because there's no
Interesting.
I in our team.
That's one of the
Maybe.
famous
Confusing
bar trivia
metaphors.
questions. I think it's like there's 8 North America in the 4 major North American sports leagues. There's like 8 teams that don't end in an S.
Ooh.
So, yeah. Save that one for next time.
I'll have to bring back
I'll
the
get to
now
sports.
that's
a lot
all
of
I'm going to
them-
be thinking about.
A lot of them are NBA, NHL teams. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Like
So
where
there's
the
only
team
one
name
real
is a
solution to
concept.
this. The only one real solution to this is artificial intelligence. Just write it in and let the machine tell you what it's supposed to say.
right. Okay,
Or-
Google.
Or any intelligence would probably also work, but I also lack there. So
I wouldn't say that.
Google, how do I say Legos?
let me Google that for you.
Lego Group official position is
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you,
Is what-
Alexa.
Lego is what, Mattel?
No.
They're their own.
Owned by Lego Group. Done by-
Really?
They're too big, man.
I
Mattel can't
I
own
guess
that.
that makes sense because there's like Legoland, the
I think you're
theme
thinking
park
of
and everything.
maybe Duplo is like the
Owned by
Lego
Lego.
offshoot. Is it also?
Owned by Lego.
Oh, okay.
Mega Bloks is owned by I don't know who.
Yeah.
Fisher Price, maybe? Who knows?
Sure.
Buy the real
And then
thing,
there's-
people.
Yeah.
And then not Lego, not even Lego like, but Playmobil. But
Oh,
they're their
yeah.
own company too. I think.
Playmobil. Yep.
When I first saw like Lego was going to have a movie, I'm like, who is watching this thing? Why? Yeah, no. I'm like, what? Why can't I make a movie about like a Lincoln Logs or
What
something
can
like
they
that?
even talk about?
Basically the same.
The movie is just a bunch of people building bricks. And you're like, this is
Yeah.
boring. Why are we watching this?
This is not what I expected. Now there's a whole franchise.
There is.
Of Lego movies.
Yeah, man.
Incredible.
It's almost as
why-
if
Wide array of Lego themed group TV shows on Netflix as well.
it's
Yeah.
almost as if everything is awesome. Now that's stuck in
Very
your
good.
head, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
This song's gonna get stuck in your head.
Yep, that's what.
That's what you meant to say.
That's the earworm.
Yeah.
Ah. Well,
Wait, speaking of cinema,
I was gonna say I actually haven't watched Marvel. I've been preparing for the ride on Sunday.
you see how I
Riding outside.
I just don't even expect it now, Greg. I don't even lead into it because I know it's not.
Apologize. So,
not
so
gonna be
Chris,
there.
here was my idea. Right. Usually during the winter time, I started the Marvel comic universe, and
watching the movies.
Cinematic.
watching movies, cinematic. Sorry, the Saturday morning long rides that I would do, throw it on the movie, turn on a workout, and do it for 2-3 hours. But now I'm going outside, riding outside. So my plan to Dodd and Greg, I'll bring my phone.
Oh, jeez.
He was talking about watching a movie.
Keep watching while I ride outside. There's nothing dangerous about that.
We
is
did
there?
not approve that, by the way. That was not.
Correct.
We didn't want Drew to get hurt. Drew's mom. We're looking out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great idea. But
Discouraged.
you know what's an even worse idea is the people who Zwift on their phones as they're riding outside.
So we were discussing that as well because
Yeah.
who was it? Truesdale. Truesdale was saying he didn't have a fan for his trainer on vacation. And they're like, well, find a nice flat road and pedal away.
Or do your TCT on the road.
I think if you're just having it on in the background and just getting miles, I think it's okay.
Right.
But if you're like racing or riding with purpose and
That could be
trying
a
to
problem.
replicate it in real life, that's probably not a good idea.
Could be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, for your Fondo, Drew, you could turn on a PRL full and pick that up during your ride.
Oh my God, what a great idea. Just stick it
Yeah.
in my pocket.
He
my
made
jersey
that-
pocket. And,
Greg made that recommendation when we did our Kentucky ride, but I didn't do it. I forgot, or I don't know what happened.
wow, what an idea.
It would be an easy way to get the badge that nobody
That's
wants to
it.
get.
Yeah. Chris, you should have all the badges by the time you're done. Just turn
True,
that
I
sucker
should do
on.
that.
Yeah.
That actually leads you to like another problem is like Wi-Fi and everything else. It's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like the,
Yeah.
like, the biggest
Well-
issue.
Greg said you only need it when you start and when you finish.
Correct. Connectivity upon start and completion.
So there you go.
There you go.
All right,
That's all you need.
that certainly seems like it's saving me a lot of
Don't do
time.
this.
Well, and Drew is also going to be doing a long ride this weekend. 100
Yeah.
miles, right?
Yep.
100,
Highlands,
not
Highlands
60.
Grand Fonda. Not 60.
100.
Yep. 100 miles. Never done it before. Never done 100. So
Is that tomorrow or Sunday, Drew?
Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be sitting down doing nothing.
What is the event?
The Highlands Grand Fondo.
Great. So it has KOM segments and things like that.
Yep, it has four time segments, and I was looking at them. They're actually not terrible. There's a couple of 8 to 10%, sections within each segment, but for the most part, it's like 2 to 5% hills.
Good for you.
Isn't too bad. So
Get some
there's a
nice
whole group of us going. So
nice swag at offer at the top of those.
absolutely,
Yeah.
get some goodies. But it was weird. It was texting Greg about it. Had my first, not bonk, but definitely a bad cramp situation. Got, I guess, what was that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Got like a 60-mile ride at like mile 58. my quads just locked up. I was like,
Yeah, that's not a bonk.
no.
I can describe the symptoms of a bonk for you if you want. The cramping is not with a, that's not bonking. Bonking is when you you have tunnel vision and all you can basically see is like a pinhole as your vision like closes in on you.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, huh?
You're nearing
That's one of the
passing out.
symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah, we.
Well, that sounds great. Good for you. You're going to crush it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
We crush it. We mean finish, and be happy with
That's a
that.
crush.
Finish the line intact.
We actually have a
The goal
couple of
is
guys though. I guess four of our A's are going. Who actually have a shot at some of the segments. So
Wow.
it'll be interesting to see
Nice.
how they do. So who is it? Bonica, Brosterman, George, Devios. I'm probably mispronouncing his name. Steve Katuska are all
Nice.
significantly stronger riders than I am, and much better climbers. So they should probably do pretty well.
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
The energy of the event will guide you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck to Drew and all the gentlemen who he just named for this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'll say,
We also have
get some.
Pete Keller and Dan Gassett are joining myself at the group head.
there you go. Also want to say good luck to Chris.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we'll be watching. Keep us posted. Send us pictures of you in our T-shirt. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
safe
Yeah,
travels.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
Travel safe, travel smart.
primary
A great
priority.
trip to you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Definitely,
Well,
man.
Enjoy all the corn.
that's going to wrap it for us this week. So we'll see you guys probably in a couple weeks because I'm going on vacation because I'm tired. So we'll see you then. See you guys.
Good.
Suck it, Miller.